What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. So we're here to talk about AMC and GME. I think this is going to be really good just to get a discussion going about what's going on with them. But right now, we're seeing kind of like normal stuff that we've seen for the past year, right? We understand that AMC and GME are kind of in this situation. I think GME made a move today, but AMC kind of remained like a little bit flat. But did see a decent amount of movement throughout the price, throughout the actual charting. You could see that that has a little bit of movement there, and where it did, bounce from and pull back from, and all of that stuff. And I don't want to keep claiming, manipulation in every way. Every single time we see a downtick, every time we see a red candle, a large red candle, or downward movement, a lot of people claim manipulation, and I'm one that will do the same because it doesn't make sense with the movement, how much positive movement we're having, and then all of a sudden we have negative movement. So we're gonna get into some detail today. We're gonna get into what happened in the positions. We're also going to get into the Vortex data a little bit, and then just a little bit of an opinion by me when it comes to both of these positions. So guys, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also check out some of the links in the description. It does help out the channel, as well as if you guys want to join the Discord group or the Patreon, please do so. We talk about a lot of other things, not just AMC and GME. We also talk about cryptocurrency and other positions, as well as day trading and how to day trade for a living. We go through an entire book. We're now on chapter 9, which is the last chapter, and you get a lot of information, a whole bunch of videos on how to day trade for a living. So we're going to get into this today. We're going to start with AMC here. You can see the movement that we did have, pretty healthy movement. I understand that this does not look right. This downward movement with no type of, comeback, no type of bounce, no type of, getting back to certain levels that I thought we would see that jump back to, but we'll get into all that. You could see here in the pre-market, it looked kind of flat. It looked kind of, I understand we did see some sort of positive movement in the pre-market, the way that it is growing. The same thing with GME as well. But initially, like right from the start where it did opened up at 41.42 and increased all the way to 42.99, almost $43, right? This did fall down a little bit aggressively, did have a little bit of a recovery, which I expected to see maybe a little bounce off of the VWAP or a bounce off of the 15 moving average, because it was growing so, aggressively. I was expecting to see a pullback. That's a realistic pullback. However, when it starts getting into this pullback back to here, it still looks a little bit reasonable. Getting back to the 200 EMA, it's definitely understandable to have a retracement. It's a little bit more than a healthy retracement, coming back down to the 200 EMA pretty fast. But then actually having a healthy increase here, to which I expected. I really did expect for them to pull this down a hell of a lot further, and that's exactly what they did. It got back up to about the level, about 42, almost $43, and then started to decrease. You did have a little bit of pushback, a little bit of like maybe a triple top situation before it did eventually fall down. You don't really see much recovery. If so, it's kind of flat recovery before it starts to decrease some more down to about $40. Good thing is it didn't break $40. It bounced off that level of about 30, right? Had a double bottom, ascending W here, and actually showing some sort of an increase, creating higher highs, some higher lows as you do stair step on the way up, breaking past just slightly the VWAP, fell back from the VWAP and actually resisted at the 200 EMA. So that looks normal. The upward movement looks normal, right? You're seeing that resistance, you're seeing that pullback, you're seeing it bounce at certain levels, certain support levels, certain resistance levels, all of that. You're seeing it bounce at the levels you would expect, going up and or down. But like I said, down here, what they're showing here, it doesn't look very healthy. We understand we see a touch point here, which does look sort of healthy there, but this downward movement, this downward spike to where it has a massive pullback without the recovery, was just insane, right? You had that recovery that came late, but it took a number of hours for that recovery to actually happen. And that's what I didn't like to see. But you did see it jump back up to a level of 42. But once I saw this upward movement past the VWAP, way past the 200 EMA, I totally expected for this to pull back. Just because, not because people are selling, not because people are getting out of the position, not because people are day trading it. It's because you have a massive amount of, for I really don't want to say it, but a massive amount of manipulation that goes into it. Whenever you hit certain prices that they don't want you at, they will decrease that price and decrease it massively. I mean, in a matter of hours or minutes, right? And that's exactly what you saw here. And it only ended up being up about 1%, which is still a gain. I'll take it on a Monday, but it could have been a lot better. Let's actually look at GME, for instance, right? GME was definitely a lot better there when it came to performance. Now, why is that? You just saw a lot of positive movement here. Yes, GME will be affected more at buying and selling certain shares because one, the price is higher, and two, they have less shares that are out there, less of a free float, so you can see more of an effect of the price as people do buy into it. So you see right from the start, pretty much mirrored what AMC was doing before it started to decrease back down to this low. Where actually it did look like it was similar to what happened with AMC before it did increase to about 245. And then what you saw was this fall back down. Now that looks very similar to what happened with AMC. It looks not as similar. It's just the movement at the right time, right? You saw this decrease at the same time that AMC happened. But the thing about GME is that when it did get to some of these levels and surpass some of these higher highs here, it held that high. It held it pretty strong and actually increased more and jumped to about 250 or so. Did have a little bit of resistance at that 250 mark before starting to decrease down. But you can see here, it's flat in the after hours market. It closed at up 8%. GME looked really, really healthy without as much manipulation going into it. I think that's what we should have saw with AMC. However, AMC has more short interest that's out there, more shares that they are shorting, right? That's what we're looking at. That's the difference. And I'm not saying that GME or AMC is a better setup than GME. I'm just saying that's why you saw GME actually increase more, is because they're not actually shorting it as much or doing it right now as much. Maybe behind the scenes they are, but today they were not, because you could see how this was increasing and it did look amazing. It looked phenomenal, right? But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the numbers, since we do understand that Ortex is a big piece of it. You can see here that AMC did see a decrease in short interest, which usually you would see a positive change in that. You would see a positive movement, and you did see 1%. However, the shares that were borrowed in previous days must have been shorted, because you did see a slight positive change, not a large positive change. 2% in short interest should be a pretty decent positive change if you are looking at that in the right way, with 3 million return shares versus 1.24 million borrowed shares. And you could also see here that the short interest is around 15%. You're looking at 78 million shorted shares. We're looking at the shares on loan at about 90 million, and utilization is 77. So you can see the difference between the two, difference between AMC and the difference between GME, right? So you see this where you have a negative change of short interest, where they returned 450,000 shares, and they borrowed 250,000 shares. So you have a decent chunk that was returned versus borrowed. Still don't know exactly how many was shorted on today until you get into the detail maybe tomorrow. But you're still looking at about 8% short interest of free float, and about 5 million shares that shorted, 6 million shares on loan, and it's 31.85 on utilization. So you see the difference between the two. And I'm not saying that, like I said, AMC is not better than GME and GME is not better than AMC. It's just showing why you did see more of an increase in GME versus AMC. However, if you're in both, I mean, it's benefiting you either way. I think AMC did have an increase. GME had a pretty decent increase today, so you probably gained a lot out of it. And I'm happy for whoever received that increase, whoever actually saw that jump to whatever level they were at, and they're holding on to the position, or whatever you did with it. If you sold your position or you sold a piece of your position, I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not going to be one of those people that come at you and say, oh, you can't sell your position ever. No, if you feel as though you want to gain a little bit out of it, gain something out of it. I think it's better to play the situation with some still left on the table, right? And not just pull all out, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, that's where we stand with AMC and GME. Hopefully you love this analysis here. You love this, what I go through these videos. I don't normally do a ton of videos on this. I used to, because there was a lot of information on AMC, and there was always a massive change every single day. GME, great change today. This is why I decided to make a video, and I actually combined the two. So that's why you see both of these videos together. But anyways, hit the like button, guys. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you check out some of the links in the description below. Also, check out my Patreon. Check out my Twitch. I stream every morning, and I want to grow my Twitch. So if you guys are interested in hearing about cryptocurrency, stocks, just investments in general, or get questions answered over there, you can definitely do that over there or on YouTube, one of the two. I just want to grow my Twitch as well. So thank you guys for supporting me. I appreciate it. Thank you for listening right now. But I'm going to get out of here, and I'll catch you guys in the next